My name is Gerri Songer. I'm currently an educator in Township High School District 214. I'm the education chair of the 214 Education Association. I've been working with both teachers and administration in 214 as well as 211. My interest is, well, speaking about the economy, education has really been under a lot of economic stress, I guess you could say. There's not a lot of funding coming from the state or the federal government. I think only 2% from the federal government, about 27% from the state. And the district that I work at, the particular school I work at, we have 4 trailer parks located in our district. And the community college, the local community college, that is the last avenue of affordable education. And I know how important it is to my own students that avenue of higher education remain open to them. I'm familiar with the fact that the CLC Promise program is going to be implemented here. We've already had the Harper Promise program implemented in my district. So those are some of the reasons that I decided to consider running for board. I'll start on that one. Financing is going to be difficult. Currently, our state is about $140 billion in debt. Just under $100 billion is the 5 state pension. Because of the pension issue. Basically, what's happened there is over the last 25 years. At 1994, I believe it started with about a $20 billion debt. And that debt was financed in something that looks like a balloon mortgage. And we are in year 2017. This goes till 2045, I believe. And we've not even hit the beginning of the upslope. Currently, there's conversations about making all funding local, all education funding local. And Dick Ingham from TRS, he confirmed that that's probably the way that they're going to go. That goes against all research, best practice research. If you looked at schools like Finland, what they do is the funding is at the state level, and it's fair for everybody. And if you really wanted to make education fair, you would bump it up to the federal level, throw in a cost of living formula, and then give everybody the same thing. Community colleges are suffering. What I intend to do is not, and legislators accountable for not doing their job. That's going to be the start, because if you're going to rely on property taxes, Lake County already is paying the highest property taxes in the state and second highest in the country. So we need to find alternative revenue. Doing more community outreach. I was shocked to learn that more than over half of the employees working in Lake County, I should say less than half, have a bachelor's degree or higher. So we need to do a better job of getting, some of these populations that aren't currently seeking higher education involved. For example, there's going to be a huge employment deficit in the specialty trades. Well, why aren't we mixing business administration with that? Why aren't we teaching kids how to do quarterly taxes, how to use QuickBooks, how to fairly or competitively price themselves? These are very easy things, and once the baby boomer generation retires, which I'm the very last of, and I'm not that far away, we're going to have a huge employment deficit in that area. And that's not necessarily the population, that would be going on to your master's or doctorate degrees. There are a lot of people who would be very happy in the trades, and if, about half, are not currently seeking higher education, well, let's target that. That's a huge demographic, and those are the people who need a lot of support. And this needs to remain a college for the community, not a community for the college. Assumption is made that quality education isn't being provided, and that that's the reason why there are achievement gaps. We have students that come from other countries. You can't take them from a beginning reader and then think they're going to be reading at, say, 1500 Lexile, which is graduate level science, or archaic vocabulary like the Declaration of Independence. That's not fair to the student, that's not fair to the teacher, and that's not fair to the educational program. We will always have kids that have processing deficits. There's dyslexia, there's I teach kids with cognitive impairments, traumatic brain injury. There's all kinds of reasons why students aren't where most are. You always have those outliers, but these kids can think, and if you give them materials that are appropriate, they can process the information, they can problem solve, they can be creative, and that's really where true intelligence is. It's in the creativity, it's in the problem solving. The community colleges have achievement gaps because they accept everybody, and that's the beauty of a community college. You don't have to get that test score. So yes, there is a remedial need, and we should continue to focus on improving that remedial need, but we should not be condemning it and calling it bad teaching. The first thing I would do would be to talk to the kids. One thing about a community college that is a lot different than, kids and adults. We've got people of all ages here. But something that's a little different at a community college than other colleges is that you don't have your dorm here. You don't have, you don't have that university atmosphere. And because of that, I think a lot of students can feel disconnected. I think one thing that we can promote is empowering them to become leaders. Get down into get on the field. Talk to the people that you're servicing, and find out what their interests are and what their passions are, and empower them to become role models and leaders in those areas. I think CLC does a good job of that, but I think there's always more that can be done, depending on people's interests that are coming here. I don't disagree with. I think that I've heard a lot of good ideas. I guess I would further that by, in addition to upward partnerships, one thing you can do at a community college that you can't at any other college or university is articulate with feeder districts. With the Harper Promise program that we're doing in my district, we've got dual enrollment, we've got field trips to Harper, we've got curricular alignment. You can't do that anywhere else. You could literally have K through post-secondary education communication, and we should, and alignment, and we should have that. Also, in terms of helping, well, there's also the partnership with the employer partnership program. There's the partnershiping with 250 employers, so you could even take that actually beyond the post-secondary education into transitioning into employment. That's a very unique opportunity. Talking to employers in Lake County and keeping up on current technology and having kids use and access some, my own daughter, she's 33, she works at CDW, and she can actually conduct a lot of business from her own home. CDW? I see somebody with their hand up, I don't know if they're, oh, okay. So keeping on those trends, and again, that is so much easier to community college because the employers are right here. They're available, and they're looking for people to fill those positions. We can have conversations with them, and make sure that we're servicing those needs. Well, I'm an educator. I've dedicated my life to my passion in education. I pursued 4 degrees. I have a degree in special education, secondary education English, curriculum and instruction, and administration. I've written articles on standardized assessments that have been published by former Secretary of Education, or Assistant Secretary of Education, Diane Ravitch. I've been a sponsor of student activities. When we talk about students, I don't just see numbers, I see faces, and I see lives and futures. I've been a student here at College of Lake County, and I'm here because it's important to give back to the community. That's the whole reason I'm running. I think I've already talked at length about, I think we all have about the state budget and, only getting 2% from the federal government. The only thing I think I can add that hasn't already been stated is the debt of the college. CLC has invested a significant amount of money to increase programming and expand the services that it provides. But if you look back at 2007, there was $17 million debt, and in 2016 there was $71 million of debt. If we were to save a little bit and then spend on the programming, we wouldn't be paying, we wouldn't be giving so many taxpayer dollars to the banks. I think a real focus needs to be on eliminating this debt, and the challenge is going to be figuring out the revenue sources. Lobbying is going to be key. Getting funding outside of Lake County to help support the school and the students and the communities is going to be key. Setting the budget will continue to be a difficult task. The turnaround agenda, there's a lot in there that we really haven't addressed, but can have a very negative impact on education in general, which would also include CLC. For example, property tax freezes. I'm not saying I disagree with that, but if there's no money from the state, where does it come from? We've got corporations, and there's been a lot of subsidies given to corporations. Look into being a little persuasive in terms of asking them to give back to the community. Some of those subsidies include not paying property taxes, which increases the burden on the resident. And then Yes, attracting and maintaining quality faculty. Yes, it is a large part of the budget, but that's what the service is education. And staying ahead of the technology curve, that is a challenge because it is changing so quickly. Well, the first part of my answer is diversity can take a lot of different avenues. It could be ethnicity, or faith, it could be disability, socioeconomic status. Students that I currently work with, I mentioned that we've got 4 trailer parks. Can you hear me? Okay. I'm taller, so it's hard for me to get to this. The biggest challenge that they have is the accessibility and changing attitudes. They don't always feel that it's something they can achieve. Maybe their family, they would be first generation to seek higher education. I don't think I disagree with anything I've heard, stated here. But I think one key factor is the personal outreach, the personal element. They need role models. They need a staff that's reflective of, the diversity in the community. And starting young. Outreach, there should be members of the CLC community that, will routinely, and I believe CLC does, meet and talk with not just faculty at feeder districts, but also with kids, and let them, you talk about marketing and there's financial struggles that we're going to be facing in the future, but time doesn't always cost. I would certainly be willing to head out and have those conversations. I obviously love kids. Well, if you look at the disparity of wealth in this country, as an educator, what I know is one of the biggest things that we can do to help change that is provide quality education. I am here because I care about the College of Lake County, but more than that, I care about people, and I care about the students. As I said, I've dedicated my entire life to that. I've got a lot of concern as to where we're going in this country educationally. Education has been under attack, and I work with very hard-working, dedicated professionals that are given, they're put into situations where the odds are really stacked against them. I don't care how good of a teacher you are, if you're in a classroom with 30 kids or more, and it's very difficult to give those kids everything that they need. College is a bit different. Classes can be smaller. Students are a little bit older, but the funding, we need to make sure that if we're going to be making cutbacks, we need to make sure that those cutbacks are in the right place. I understand education from a variety of perspectives. I understand the vision, but I also understand the nuts and bolts. As I said, I've been the teacher, I've been the administrator, and I'm planning on bringing the passion with me.